Are you in a healthy relationship or a situationship? Do you even know the difference? Welcome to our YouTube channel. Hi, I'm Elitia.
And I'm Cullen.
Your favorite relationship coaches. And today we're talking about the difference between a healthy relationship, situationship, or dysfunctionship. So situationships, the definition that we want you to ground yourself on is when there's this gray area between dating and courting, two people are in a non-committed relationship. They have unclear, unmet expectations. No one is saying anything about it, but time is passing.
Right.
Usually an indicator that you're in a situationship is often when you think about the question, what is this? What are we? Are we an item? Are we a thing? Or people often ask you, what's going on here? You all have been together for some time now, and it's traditionally past the 4-week dating, short shopping experience that we talked about. So it's past that timeline, and now it's entered into this gray, fuzzy, are we an item? Are we doing this? Where are we?
But it's usually not just questions. There's usually a ton of emotion and energy, mostly negative energy, because that person wants to know, like, what are your intentions? The truth of the matter is, it's both people's fault, because it's everybody's responsibility to speak up about what they want their journey to look like.
You could avoid situationships by being clear and asking a question. In Love Literacy, we actually devote about 3 chapters to you really focusing in on your needs, but we specifically want you to have your relationship profile down, right? And then in that, when you are dating, actively dating, you usually come to a place where you want to get to know this person more. You want to be in a committed relationship. You actually want to start to co-create a life together. At that point, that is a verbal, interactive conversation. And usually people don't have the conversation. So to avoid a situationship, we're saying make your expectations and your needs known. You have to articulate to that person what you desire. Do you want to be in a committed relationship with them? Don't leave that to chance. And oftentimes people will leave it to chance, but when they look up, 6 months have passed, 8 months have passed. And situationships get longer and longer because people aren't articulating what they actually need and want.
Let me tell you this. I'm going to keep it simple for you. Relationships are the bravest thing that you will ever do. And I was trying to think of this one quote, but nevertheless, it's the bravest thing you will ever do in your life. Allowing yourself to be dragged or pulled into a situationship, or by you going into a situation, you could be the person that's doing it. Let's say you are the person that really wants a relationship and you are brave, but this person is not brave. You are allowing them to be a part of this without the requisite bravery. That's all the situationship is. You're allowing somebody to serve, to be basically a tourist in the relationship experience. That's on you. Because remember, you're a stakeholder. You have the right to call them on it. And one of the biggest ways that you can prevent this from happening is by stating boldly what your intentions are. This is a timeless thing. If your interest is in being in a relationship, a committed relationship with someone, state it. Yeah. Either they're going to be with it or not. Either way, you've done yourself a favor.
If you're in a situationship or you find yourself in multiple iterations of situationships, make sure you check out the other video where we talk about how to actively date, how to consciously date, so you can make those transitions smoother, so you can reduce the frustration, eliminate the stress altogether. Make sure you check out the video on active dating.
So dysfunctionships they're prevalent. All of us grew up going to the family reunions, and there were people who you didn't quite know what they were, but they've been together for like 3 or 4 years. If you know the story, if you know their story, you know that it's pretty much
unhealthy connection.
Yes.
Unmet needs.
Right.
They're in a committed union. So it's like at the family reunion, you have to call this person auntie, or uncle. They've been together forever, but you can tell. If you were 10 years old, you can actually tell it. That relationship is not healthy. You can feel the negative energy off it. Oftentimes, dysfunctionships show up in married couples as well. So dysfunctionships are distinguishable from situationships because of that length of time and because it's a committed relationship. Both people have articulated that they're in a union, but they continue to allow time to pass without doing the work of navigating conflict. So one conflict is piling on another conflict, and they have what we call a hurt timeline. I know we go into it further in the book Love Literacy, but a hurt timeline starts to accumulate, and that length of time is just elongating a dysfunctionship. And so it's a relationship.
But guess what? It was a fear-based union from the start. Fear-based relationships are all low vibrating. So if you take two people that are afraid of each other, it might not be the custom version of fear that's sold in Hollywood, but it's still fear. Like I'm afraid that she'll hurt me. I'm afraid he's gonna hurt me. It's still fear. It's fear-based. So if you are that afraid in close proximity, you're sleeping together, you're going to dinner together, you're closing your eyes and sleeping in the same bed with each other, and in the most vulnerable state, you are poking the bear. You're afraid of this. You're still afraid of this person, and you haven't worked out your fears. Like I said with situationships, you are allowing someone to be a tourist again. The difference is you are now building around this person, and it's going to be an unstable relationship because it's built on your foundation is built in fear. Yeah. So what good is going to come out? There's going to be so many negative habits that come out of it, so much apathy, so many, resentment. and then like I said, the hurt timeline, your hurt timeline is going to be so long. When let's say at some point you say, well, we want to get help and we want to work all this stuff out. Well, you did this to me. Well, you did this to me. Good luck trying to hash out that hurt timeline. What came first and how? It's going to be hard for you to get somebody to honor fixing that. They can point and say, well, you the one that did this first and this, that. And most people by themselves aren't going to work that out. It's way too many slippery slopes and too many triggers.
Dysfunctionships are celebrating anniversaries in our community. That's the one that pains us the most because they're the most prevalent within our community because they're of the longevity of the anniversaries of bad behaviors. No one is really navigating the conflict. They are celebrating a lot of anniversaries of resentment. Yep. And others watch that and normalize it. And that's the part that hurts us, why we want to make sure that you're clear in this episode, distinguishing the difference between a situationship, a dysfunctionship, and a healthy relationship, because we don't want to normalize dysfunctionships. And unfortunately, they are very prevalent in our communities.
And to those people that are saying, man, everybody talking about getting married, marriage ain't for me, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to be in no blah, blah, blah. My wife and I don't get, we don't get paid every time somebody gets married. We don't have a horse in this race. Do you? But still, health. That's what we are talking about here. We could care less if you get married or have a lifetime partnership. But health is important because I'm telling you, stress and that cortisol is rampant in our community, and it's got people in survival mode, and it's not a good thing.
And situationships and dysfunctionships are the source of it. We don't want you in a situationship or a dysfunctionship. We actually are on the side of healthy relationships. By definition, because we want to make sure we ground you in definitions. You know, here at WhenLoveWorks Dynamically, it's all about giving you relationship skills and the tools, right? And definitions are powerful. So our definition of a healthy relationship is a mutual exchange of time, energy, resources, service, support, and health. Those 6 elements, mutually given in service to one another, will ground you two in a healthy union that you can now co-create life in a creative and unique way. A healthy relationship is far superior than a situationship or dysfunctionship because you two are co-creating something that's never been created before. There is no book on you two, but what is required of you for a healthy relationship is a mutual exchange. You understand that relationships are about service, and so you may be wondering, how am I exchanging this service to this person that I chose to do life with? When it comes to time, energy, resources, service, support, and help. That's how you're pouring back into them and they're pouring back into you. Not equal, but mutual.
Well, hopefully this was helpful for you. Make sure to follow us, or you buy a book and stay tuned for more